Sure, Disney, we have time for your meandering 30-second logo during this nearly 3-hour film. We'll wait. All these hanging victims step forward willingly towards the noose in unison and without any prodding, as though they've read the script and wish to save themselves the trouble of seeing the rest of this mess.
In her bones.
Hangmen allow this asshole kid to keep singing, instead of hanging him immediately for singing, or at least kicking him in the balls or something to shut him up.
Thieves and beggars.
Wow, movie goes full Les Mis before the 4-minute mark.
They've started to sing, sir.
Beckett needs to be told that the prisoners are singing, even though that's readily apparent via hearing.
Others sail on the sea.
Movie dupes you into thinking the singing is over, but continues the same song unabated after the opening title.
Heave ho.
Too much singing!
Dangerous song to be singing for any who are ignorant of its meaning, particularly a woman.
That's sexually racist.
What makes you think she's alone?
Well, the fact that up until you spoke, she was alone and stuff. Also, maybe Barbossa heard that, but I'm wondering, if he was expecting Elizabeth to arrive here, why did he wait until she was in danger to show up? Wherever this gun was hidden, it simply means Will Turner has his work cut out for him when it comes to marital relations. Not hilarious third movie of a bloated, not hilarious franchise finds time for this scene somehow.
You move. Please.
That's racist, sexist, and coincidentally exactly what I was hoping he'd say, which makes me racist, sexist. Also, I bet you didn't make Captain Barbossa do that. Oh man, they dragged Chow Yun-Fat into this, didn't they? Has this asshole been underwater this entire time? Just for a cinematic reveal? Why is he not dead? Also, why did they try to get Will to steal the navigational charts if they could simply walk in and ask for them? I mean, Barbossa even has a magic "you must honor this coin," and they bothered with Will trying to steal this stuff on his own?
As one of the 9 pirate lords, you must honor the call.
Pirates have lords? I thought it was a pretty straightforward, casual version of a military, with a captain and a first mate. Pirate code? Yes, I buy that. Pirate lords and some kind of constitution that they have to obey? Not so much. Yep, this movie is having one of the so-called good guys get a chuckle out of looking up Elizabeth's skirt. Because creeping and peeping is fun.
You are Sao Feng, the pirate lord of Singapore.
Much needed exposition. And the pervy upskirt gag was all for the payoff of this guy having to look at sumo balls. Hilarious.
Elizabeth Swan. There was more to you than meets the eye, isn't there?
No, that's Optimus Prime you're thinking of.
What is it you seek in Davy Jones' locker?
Jack Sparrow. He's one of the pirate lords.
Well, isn't that convenient and completely made up for this movie?
Jack Sparrow holds one of the 9 pieces of 8.
9 pieces of 8 sounds just odd enough as a phrase that I have to wonder why the original pirate lords didn't make the council 8 members for the sake of consistency. Somehow, when they hatched this plan, they knew the spaces between the floorboards would allow for coordinated sword tossing. I mean, think about the planning here. How many times did Barbossa go into this room, finally deciding, you know what, swords through the floorboards. It's almost too easy. How did this many British soldiers manage to get to the other side of a f***ing dressing chamber divider without any guards spotting them? Swords versus gun battle is a lot more even than it has any right to be. Dickhead British soldiers decide to waste time getting into position in order to shoot the pirates. So they somehow knew exactly where the British soldiers were standing in that moment of chaotic battle and didn't get any good guys with this trick as well? This little guy firing this huge gun is worthless both for military strategy and comedic value. A whole lot of who gives a f***ness. You know what? Even if historically soldiers did this in every situation, I'm going to sin history. Here's another instance of some booby trap exploding exactly when the soldiers were in a spot no one could possibly predict they'd be in.
It's an odd coincidence, isn't it?
That you two ran into the same secluded area away from the battle that Beckett's main man, Mercer, just happens to be in right now, so that he can overhear key information he needs to propel the plot? A monkey and a parrot team up to validate this movie's 3-hour runtime. Pirate Wilhelm.
I'm sure there must be a good reason for our suffering.
Character speaks for the viewing audience.
Why don't that Obey woman just bring Jack back the same way she brought back Barbossa?
Because Barbossa was only dead.
You're right, Tia. How stupid it is for them to think just because you did one impossible thing, you could do a completely other impossible thing.
Person can bring pan himself.
It might make me sexist or racist, but I do not care about one word coming out of this woman's mouth.
And some say it signals when a soul comes back to this world from the dead.
So a green flash means someone's come back into this world from the dead. Question though, did those people also have an entire ship full of people looking for them, complete with these rare navigational charts to help them get out? Or did they get out on good behavior? Also, listen, Disney, the supernatural bullshit was not what people enjoyed about the first Pirates movie. It was the zany, swashbuckling fun. So tripling down on the supernatural bullshit was a dumb idea. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Day After Tomorrow. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting one of this franchise's characters has an undead barnacle father who sails on a ship with a squid captain that plays the organ. Also, he's technically playing that organ with his face. I'm just saying. These assholes haven't been fired yet. Why is this movie 3 hours long? Because the director insisted on every single establishing shot being a 10-second orgy of nothingness.
How long do we continue not talking?
You mean they're still giving each other the silent treatment after he saw her kissing Jack in the last movie? You mean she hasn't once explained herself? I guess when you need tension for a movie, those things happen.
For what we want.
Just when Will is about to run and tell Barbossa the ship's in danger, Tia shows up out of nowhere to give him some sort of vague platitude. Then he runs to tell Barbossa what he was going to tell him before. But why is the movie interrupted even a little bit for Tia to say this thing that could be said at any time? It's actually confusing, because it seems like Will is running because of what she says, not because of what he saw out in the water.
For what we want most, there is a cost must be paid in the end.
Super in-your-face foreshadowing is super in your face.
For certain, you have to be lost to find a place that can't be found.
Sure, I get it. But you could also just be lost in a place that's nowhere near where you need to be. Besides, how in the world did people who came through here before not map this place out? Also, seems like the people who successfully navigated the Davy Jones locker expedition would have made mention of a f***ing waterfall. 19 seconds of black screen. They told Johnny Depp he was still in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. This was the result. It's pretty obvious the thought was, you know what's better than Jack Sparrow? 2 Jack Sparrows! And why should we stop there? Jack Sparrow lays an egg. Why aren't you people laughing at this comic gold? Almost 7 full minutes of nonsensical Jack Sparrow afterlife bullshit that means absolutely nothing to anything.
We have lost speed, and therefore time. Precious time, which cannot be recovered once lost.
This advice went unheeded by the movie itself. It's pretty obvious the thought was, you know what's better than 1 rock that's actually a crab? 2 rocks that are actually crabs, and why should we stop there?
This truly is a godforsaken place.
You mean the beach? Yeah, it looks awful.
Witty Jack is closer than you think.
Well, that was easy. Also, how do you sail the boat to Davy Jones' locker and run right into Jack? Is he the only person in this purgatory? How are they not running into millions of people right now?
Impossible.
Really? You just took a boat to purgatory and you're still hanging on to that impossible shit?
4 of you have tried to kill me in the past. 1 of you succeeded. Oh. She's not told you.
Yeah, for some reason. Even though it's been months, maybe even a year since it happened.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
No, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Skip! This is shit that could have been resolved long ago. Skip! Holy shit! I skipped to this part and it's still unresolved. Why was Jack allowed to wander around the beach while these people were relegated to the water like they're in the dead marshes?
And every 10 years, him could come ashore to be with she who love him.
I'm talking about myself, but much like Obi-Wan Kenobi, I don't see Darth Vader as Anakin Skywalker, and I sure as don't see me as myself.
It's my father. We've made it back.
Okay, sending this for her dead father being one of the 6 dead-person rowboats close enough to the Pearl to make out faces. That's a deadly coincidence.
Elizabeth, are you dead?
Tia just said that those dead people only see them as ghosts, so why is he reacting right now? Is it so she and we would feel a lot better about his death?
I learned that if you stab the heart, yours must take its place.
Wow, this dead guy just dropped a fantastic plot point on the main characters as he's being carried into the unknown. Just imagine if they didn't see him in that sea of dead people.
A touch of destiny.
Voodoo Chick says this immediately after Elizabeth's dad states that the Dutchman must have a captain, further underscoring the obvious earlier foreshadowing you obviously didn't take to heart.
No water. Why is all but the rum gone?
Classic Pirates of the Caribbean. Hands on hips, shaking my head. Far outside Davy Jones' locker, Jack hears and sees literal tiny Jack angel demons offering conflicting advice. What the f***?
The Dutchman must have a captain.
Whenever the movie is stuck, you can rest assured it will find a way to waste time.
Come sunset, it won't matter. Not sunset.
Hallucination ex machina.
Not sunset. Sundown.
Is there a difference between the two? Here, let me suck on your fake eye before you put it back in.
We're rocking the ship!
I don't need to ask questions. Seems like a great idea. Also, all the people who have ever escaped Davy Jones' locker did this? That doesn't seem possible. What if a smaller crew came to save someone and couldn't rock the boat? I guess they're screwed. How are they supposed to know that, though? Also, when this works, will someone write all this down so that it'll be easier for others to escape? Seems like the right thing to do. They won't, because after this movie, no one we care about will ever go to the DJL. Also, while I'm at it, who first learned to do this? Because someone solved it completely on their own. They got their crew to rock the boat willingly, on the off chance it would work. And then they were assholes, and simply left a riddle instead of full-blown instructions. Telescope measuring contest?
There's never a guarantee of coming back. But passing on, that's dead certain.
Unless Tia Dalma brings you back from the dead because she knows magic. Yeah, but do they somehow have dry gunpowder? Earlier, everyone was trying to shoot each other and couldn't because the powder was wet. That would presumably include all these pirates from Singapore, right? Am I missing something?
I need the pearl to free my father.
Seriously, from the time the Black Pearl was built until now, nobody built a ship that rivaled its speed. The whole reason Will betrays Jack is because he needs this one ship. For real.
And if Davy Jones were to learn of your survival?
How does he not know this already? Shouldn't some disturbance in the Force alert him to locker escapes?
Were I in a divulgatory mood, What then might I divulge?
This scene is an excellent example of why this movie sucks balls. Instead of a short deal-making scene, this conversation is dragged out unnecessarily into a 10-minute snooze fest. I actually heard there's no footage from this movie on the cutting room floor. They used everything they shot.
And what do the Bethlehem have?
Calypso.
Yeah, who could it be? Since we've seen Tia Dalma twice look down at a locket and talk about pain and loss and shit. By the way, during the last movie when she was telling everyone the story of Davy Jones, why did she look so happy telling it? I mean, they shot these movies at the same time, so it wasn't like they forgot and just made it up for this movie. Or did they?
Cut out the middleman, as it were.
The scene is still going on!
With me killed, you'd arrive at the cove, find it's a stronghold nigh impregnable, and then you'd be wishing, oh, if only there was someone I had not killed inside.
This somehow works, despite the power of the military Beckett has at his fingertips. Besides, why can't he just get to Shipwreck Cove before the Brethren Court gets there? And why does Beckett trust anything Jack says?
Send this pestilent, traitorous, cow-hearted, yeasty codpiece to the brig.
Jack Sparrow, lover of all things scoundrel and pirate, is so mad at Will for having ulterior motives for rescuing him, he undoes years of friendship, despite having himself double-crossed Will a nigh uncountable number of times prior to this. Kiss rape. Dutchman ex machina.
With all 9 pieces of hate, you will be free.
With no evidence whatsoever, Sao Feng believes Elizabeth is Calypso, and gives her an item and crucial information for the plot. And her ex-boyfriend who is still in love with her is on the Dutchman right now, so he saves her, and what a bunch of lucky breaks.
I did not know.
Know what? Which side you chose?
I'm already annoyed that this asshole is still in these movies, long after his storyline should have ended, but giving him a change of heart, now a good guy arc, is even worse. This guy's original motivation in these films was how bad he wanted to marry Elizabeth and sex her, and not in a romantic kind of way. But suddenly, he's got heart. Yay, I guess.
Bootstrap. Bill Turner.
Bootstrap.
Oh, he just happened to be in the very cell that you are? That was easy. Will is killing dudes just so he can drop them into the ocean, and the birds will leave a trail for Beckett to follow. What's lost in all this is that Will is killing people just to leave trails. This cold-blooded motherfucker is a hero?
Our destinies have been entwined, Elizabeth, but never joined.
Is this a pity kiss? She just sort of allows this, doesn't she? Elizabeth freaks the hell out over the death of a guy she just told could never earn her forgiveness. Shocked? Maybe. Upset? Sure. But she's acting like they were active lovers. Like this is Will or some shit. Screw the movie for trying to slap together a hero's death for this dick-faced Norrington. I admit, that's pretty damn funny. I'll knock a sin off. Why not?
Don't you forget why you had to bring me back.
There are way too many deals to keep up with in this movie. And almost all of them end up in some sort of double crossing. So who cares what deal is in place with whom?
I showed them how to bind her.
It was an easy process. I just showed them some YouTube videos.
She pretended to love me.
What am I doing with my life?
She betrayed me.
The tea drinking in this scene is a good substitute for eating apples. So the director said, take a drink of tea every time you say something to piss Davy Jones off. It'll make you look like even more of an asshole.
There is only one price I will accept. Calypso. Murdered.
Why didn't you just do that in the first place? Instead, you went through the whole binder into human form punishment, which is like total bullshit, man. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Desolation of Smaug.
Master Rigetti, if you will.
What possessed Barbossa to one day long ago give his one-eyed sailor the wooden eye that is so important to this movie's plot? What if he got thrown overboard or burned in one of those Twilight fires? He entrusted something very important to this dude instead of just giving him an eye patch. This is some bullshit concocted by the writers to turn a silly part of the franchise into something way more important than it should be.
I'm as content as a cucumber to wait until Sao Feng joins us.
Sao Feng is dead.
I'm pretty sure you didn't hear that, but what wonderful timing to just be able to walk in a room and be able to answer that very question at this exact moment.
You weren't there. Why weren't you there?
The last two movies' plots almost entirely rely on young lovers having some sort of misunderstanding and never asking one simple question that could have fixed it all. Instead of simply asking this question in the first place, he decided to get pirate lords to bind her to a human body. If he could do this, how did the other thing happen? By the way, how did 9 pirate dudes capture a goddess in the first place? Did they put out Reese's Pieces and have her follow them into a trap? I bet they put out Reese's Pieces and had her follow them into a trap. So Johnny Depp says he patterned his Jack Sparrow in some way out of Keith Richards. So here he is, despite taking some of the mystique out of Depp's performance by actually casting the guy who inspired it, like a magician revealing a secret. Also, where's the other part of the equation? Pepe Le Pew. Also, am I really being asked to care about Jack Sparrow's daddy issues in the third f***ing movie? Because I don't, I can't, and I won't. Haha, because he's a famous guitar player.
Am I to understand that you lot will not be keeping to the code then?
They've been here for 12 minutes of this movie, and we still have another hour left. Also, this whole voting thing brings up another horrible aspect of TV shows and movies that start explaining its mythology way too far, to the point that basically lawless characters have rules, and kings and queens, and all sorts of stupid shit that doesn't make any sense. It's like Twilight and True Blood when you find out vampires follow some sort of hierarchy. What a bunch of bullshit.
And so, we shall go to war.
F this guy.
How's Mum?
I mean, see? Do we need Jack Sparrow to be explained in this way? This comes off totally cheap. This is the midichlorians of Pirates of the Caribbean. As if this movie needed any more length, when it's time to negotiate, the parties decide to land on opposite sides of a long island, in which the entire walk towards each other will be shown for our amusement. Sure, throw him the compass. This can't possibly help him against you later.
Bravo!
Well, here's some more of this shit. This movie is just downright exhausting. Movie tells viewers what it needs to do in order to enjoy it.
Calypso, I release you from your human bonds.
No, you didn't say it right.
Sure, let's stall this movie even further. Hell, Barbossa himself said you had to say it to her as if to a lover, but then he f***s it up 5 seconds later.
Release you from your human bonds.
Why is this guy able to say the words and it works? Doesn't it need to be a pirate lord? Hasn't everything relied on pirate lord bullshit so far? Movie steals the 50-foot woman from a movie I can't think of right now, but it was this movie about the attack of the 50-foot woman. When a huge woman explodes into millions of crabs, that's probably a sign the infection has gone too far.
You will listen to me.
Rousing speech time! Hey, one thing they forgot to do with this movie is give us a reason to care. This ain't William Wallace talking about getting their freedom and shit. This is a bunch of lawless pirates, and for the life of me, I can't figure out how the world is a better place if any of them survive.
They will see free men and freedom!
Oh shit, I guess I spoke too soon. So this is all about their freedom? To loot and plunder? What the f*** are pirates in these movies anymore? Just because the East India Company is evil doesn't make these assholes Robin Hood.
Calypso.
Is she in the sky now? Did she not just turn into a billion or so crabs and dive into the sea? What was the point of that shit? Arg! It is perhaps fitting that one of the final battles will take place in an abyss of rapidly rotating water, because it simulates the effect of being in a toilet.
She's on our stern and gaining!
How? This is the vaunted Black Pearl you betrayed Jack for in order to go after your father, remember? Ship that's faster than the Dutchman, as I recall?
Off-barrel inches. Leverage.
Jack Sparrow once again Dr. Houses his way into a solution. Why is this thing even in the cell?
If there were no fish people, there'd be no need to guard the chest.
Why do these films think we still like these two asshats? Their act wore thin 2 movies ago. Once again, an unstoppable force like the Flying Dutchman, which we've seen blowing up entire waves of pirate ships in seconds, suddenly starts getting its ass kicked by the Black Pearl, because heroes. Bullshit. So can these guys oh, f*** it.
Marry us!
For Christ's sake.
Dearly beloved, we be gathered here today.
Skip! And then I skipped, and they just got to the kiss. I don't know, you guys finding this wedding during a sea battle thing funny? I think much like the Captain Jack back in the prison cell, I lost my brain somewhere. Also, these two do everything without talking it out. They fought and did a whole movie's worth of silent treatment without talking it out, then they just got back together again without talking that out. I mean, I might have to add 10 sins for this. By the way, does Davy Jones have any reason to fear Jack's sword during this battle? We already had the pretty good joke where Norrington tried to stab him, and Jones looked at him like he was stupid. So why doesn't he just bum rush Jack and take the chest? Also, this is one of these fights where it feels like if the Black Pearl is winning, then the whole battle is won somehow, despite the East India Company having a billion ships elsewhere in these waters. But we'll forget about that lopsided affair as long as the Black Pearl wins. I mean, do our comic relief heroes know exactly where to shoot this monkey? Holy shit, they know exactly where to shoot this monkey! It's official. The first Pirates movie was good on accident. Since it's clear by this third movie the creators have no idea what made the first one popular. Pirates of the Caribbean, at World's End, should have been called The Never-Ending Story. It's amazing how in all this confusing battle, things important to the plot just happen to be close to the heroes whenever they need them.
William.
Oh, now you remember this is your son. Nice timing, dickwad. At this point, we're pretty much aware that Jack Sparrow can do anything he wants with a boat's sail ropes. It's hit critical mass in this movie, and holy shit, is that a parachute?
The Armada's still out there.
Yeah, no shit. But what have they been doing this whole time? Have they sat back and watched the Dutchman and the Pearl duke it out while drinking tea or some shit? So the Endeavor has cannons on both sides. Aren't they not going to get anybody in position to fire them? Are they just going to allow this to happen?
They're turning away!
Yay! One ship goes down and the whole armada gives up. Woohoo!
On the wheel then, Mr. Turner.
This ship had no one at the wheel until this moment. It's one of those ship jobs that isn't really necessary, which kind of makes Will a dick for giving that worthless, needless job to his own father.
Once is quite enough.
Haha, that's really funny, Jack, but this time there isn't a Kraken around, and that's f***ing Keira Knightley. You just lost cool points, bro. It's at moments like these that I start thinking, wait a minute, all Calypso did was create an abyss and make it rain for a while. That's it. She was completely worthless to this story, despite her overall importance to this story. God, that was freaking awful. This movie never ends! Oh, it ended. Splendid. Holy shit, it didn't end. It's even more movie. You can't be around for all the massive amounts of f***ing we're going to do that will likely result in one of your siblings.
This truly is a godforsaken place.
All in all, it's just another brick in the wall.
Bring out your dead one.
Done no wrong. Sweet Jesus, hear my prayer.
Jesus! Jesus! Lord Jesus! Oh, Jesus! Oh, Jesus Christ! Lord.
The skipper has yet to put a single crab on board. The only thing he's captured, another shellacking of dangerous ice.
Rock the boat, baby. Rock the boat. I don't tip the boat over.
You are captain now.
I'm the captain now.
Come and play with us. Come and play with us, Daddy.
Crunchyroll, we have it for you. No, we're not talking about delicious sushi. We're talking about anime, man. Crunchyroll is an anime streaming service that offers the largest, most diverse collection of anime series that you can watch in HD with no ads. And Crunchyroll gets you new shows as soon as 1 hour after they air in Japan, with subtitles. It's safe to say that's faster than you could pirate them. The best part, you can enjoy it all free for 30 days when you go to crunchyroll.com/CinemaSins. Yes, that's a month of free anime bliss brought to you by anime lovers. All you have to do is click the link in the description to get started.